For more on this, I'm joined by international correspondent Afia Hagen. Hello, Afia. Thank you for joining us. Now, how big of a blow is the resignation of Benny Gantz to Benjamin Netanyahu?
Well, Benny Gantz, as you very rightly said, there was in opposition until the October 7th attacks and decided to join this three-man, if you will, war cabinet. Now, he is someone who was a former leader of the IDF, a man of great stature, so to speak. But he also gave Benjamin Netanyahu credibility. At a time where he was seen as being quite far to the right, he was someone who could be seen as balancing the war cabinet in some way. He brought in support for Benjamin Netanyahu when he really needed it the most. And it will see Benjamin Netanyahu now having to rely more heavily on that far-right element of the cabinet, ultra-nationalist parties. And they angered Washington and other parts of the world, other potential allies, before the war in Gaza had even started. Now, Benny Gantz has said to Mr. Netanyahu that he must set an election date of October the 7th this year. That will be the one-year anniversary of that terrorist attack committed by Hamas. And he's accused the Prime Minister of using this war for his own political ambitions and desires for the state of Israel, and said that he's slow-walking this war for his own political gain. So it's not game over for Benjamin Netanyahu by any way, shape or form, but this is a body blow to him, most certainly.
All right, Afia. Now, 4 hostages were released this weekend, right? And 3 other hostages were killed. What can you tell us about this?
That's right. So we did have that very daring rescue mission this weekend where we saw 4 hostages released. 3 hostages have been killed. That's according to Hamas. They've also said that 274 Palestinians lost their lives in that rescue operation as well. It's thought that there was gunfire, hand-to-hand combat and airstrikes used in this particular rescue mission to get those hostages out. Now, 250 hostages were taken on October the 7th. 120 of them remain in Gaza and 43 of them are pronounced dead. Now, today, of course, you do have joy amongst those families of the hostages that were released. One of them named Noah, a woman who's quite famous, actually, in viral videos from the October 7th attacks, where you see her being taken away on motorbikes and she's pleading for help, pleading to be rescued. She was one of the people that was recovered in that operation. But relatives saying today, like I said, although they have great joy that their particular relatives have been released, they have called for Benjamin Netanyahu to do more for the hostages that remain inside Gaza.
All right. Now, Afia, is there any progress with negotiations for peace in this conflict?
Well, at the moment, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is traveling to the region, and he's traveling there for 2 reasons, 2 main goals. One is to increase pressure on both Hamas and Israel to accept a peace deal, and the second is to ensure that war doesn't spread further in the region, particularly to Lebanon. So he's going to be meeting with the Egyptian president, Abdel Fattah el-Sisi in Cairo before heading to Israel later this afternoon, when he will be holding discussions with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He will also travel to Jordan and Qatar later on this week. Now, Joe Biden, at the end of last month, outlined this sort of 3-phase ceasefire proposal from Israel that envisions a permanent end to hostilities, the release of Israeli hostages as well as Palestinian prisoners, and the reconstruction of Gaza. Whether that deal will be accepted by Hamas remains to be seen. There's also whispers that Joe Biden might do a unilateral deal with Hamas directly to free American hostages who are being held by Hamas. That's been reported by NBC News. Now, these negotiations could take place as at the same time as the current ceasefire talks involving Israel. And even if they fail, those talks could go ahead anyway. So Antony Blinken on tour in the region, Cairo, Qatar and Jordan. He'll be very busy trying to broker any kind of peace, and of course the release of hostages, as well as making sure that the conflict doesn't spread to any other parts of the region.
All right, thank you so much, Afia, for an update on that.